Why did that teacher get fired from your school? 2 teachers, they got caught in a classroom. My 5th grade teacher got caught the IT dude in her classroom while we were out for recess. Neither got fired but were transferred to other schools. Now I'm really starting to wonder if any of my other teachers were each other and nobody ever found out. You want it to be the young and attractive ones, but it's really the 72-year-olds on the verge of retirement. Actually, not really, at least not in the case that I mentioned. My science teacher was in her early 30s, blonde, blue eyes, nice body. She was incredibly attractive. The guy was around his late 30s or early 40s, used to be really overweight, but at the time he had shed off all of the fat and had a pretty muscular physique. Doesn't change the fact that we all thought he was a douche lol. 2 teachers at my middle school, man and woman, would often walk into the bathroom together. They straight up during passing periods. Talk about risky public anyone could have walked in on them at any moment lol. To be fair, it was a staff bathroom. They could lock the door and other teachers would just have to wait. Female PE teacher, she got caught sniffing a girl's underwear while she was showering. Imagine getting out of the shower and seeing your teacher with her nose in your underwear, face vomiting. WTF is wrong with people? Reminds me of that one scene from the first Scary Movie. No matter the gender, that is just gross AF. Edit. I am not kink shaming. It is gross because it is a grown adult sniffing a kid's underwear. Edit 2. Also, anyone will be put on the sex offender registry for doing this, male or female. The fact that it was a teacher doing this to a child is disgusting. Students laughed she ate toothpaste. Turns out she was an alcoholic trying to cover her breath. 9 out of 10 alcoholics recommend Crest. The 10th one passed out and couldn't recommend it. Dating a 16-year-old female student, he was also a PE teacher. Edit. I should clarify that he did do jail time and is on the offenders register. It's always the PE teachers. It was the tech teachers for us. Same here. SMH. My PE teacher also dated one of his students. He married her. He also continued teaching PE and coaching girls volleyball for 40 more years. Loudly crying. Edit. This was in rural Michigan, so unless you were from my high school of less than 200 people, it's unlikely to be the same guy. Just a testament to how gross people are everywhere. How did the school let this happen? Was this like 100 years ago or something? Mr. Johnson, you can't go dating and marrying the students, but it's 100 years ago from 2120. Ha, I never thought about it that way. Carry on, then. You've got another few decades of teaching ahead of you. Mr. Johnson, you can't go dating and marrying the students. I would never cheat on my wife. Ha, I never thought about it that way. Carry on, then. My 6th grade social studies teacher fled the country ahead of charges related to molesting 2 students. One of my high school teachers was caught on to catch a predator. I bet it was Walter Bapst, the high school teacher from Riverside, California. Bingo. You guessed it. I haven't watched the video in years. Damn dude, care to do a little AMA? Is it true he really taught for like a day after being caught? Where did you first hear the news? What did you think? Was he the one you would expect to be caught on TCAP? I'm not sure about him teaching for a day after. But I actually had him as teacher, I think my sophomore or junior year. He was creepy for sure and a prick. I didn't think he was TCAP capable, but also I was never thinking my HS teachers when I was in HS that way. I heard the news a few years after I graduated from some old HS buddy. Watched the video then and kind of never thought about it again till today. My math teacher was a volunteer first responder in NY. She left school to help out during 9/11 and was fired for not showing back up for 2 weeks. The students and parents fought for her, but I think she decided not to come back because of the outright f***edness. She made a good choice. Sounds like it would have been a toxic work environment anyways. She had fallen off the wagon and was drinking a lot to the point where it was affecting her memory. We kept doing the same lecture on density in 6th grade science for a month, until one of my classmates decided to ask another teacher about it. From there she went to rehab. If anyone wants more context, she was our homeroom and science teacher. She was very nice, and married to our assistant principal, so she had a little bit more leeway. While she was able to remain sober for a while, She eventually passed away due to the effects of her addiction a few years after this. She never seemed like a bad teacher, but she was always stressed to the absolute maximum, always felt like she was working from behind, and generally struggling to keep up. You know, the traditional tail end of the functioning addict lifestyle. Asterisk affecting rather than affecting. That may have been one of the lessons I missed. Your knowledge on density must be phenomenal. Do not fear the man who has learned 1,000 concepts once, but the man who has learned one concept 1,000 times. Bruce Nye. This one is actually sort of rather sad. Had an amazing, but eccentric, math teacher who was incredibly involved with helping students. He made sure to always cover his bases, so there was nothing really creepy about him. The year I left high school, was a senior at this time, went on to finish my GED, he was fired. Shortly after news an article that he had killed himself with a self-inflicted gunshot. What had happened during this period of time was a student had come forward to the administration and accused him of sexual misconduct, both of them being males, and unfortunately there was no real way to prove a negative for the missing time outside of school hours, so they promptly let him go. Being a gay, black, teacher in South Texas. Rough. He wrote a letter basically denying all of the accusations but had come to the grim realization that at his age, his career was effectively over, so he shot himself in the head. Later the student who made the accusations came forward and said he had fabricated the entire event because he was failing his grades and angry. The whole event was quietly swept under the rug. RIP Mr. Ethan. You were a good person who was cut down by others' selfishness. Holy shit, that's depressing. I feel terrible for Mr. Ethan. That's honestly one of my worst fears. What happened to the damn student who caused all this? I wish teachers could sue students and their parents. They treat teachers like disposables. Edit. Man, maybe this needs to happen. What's stopping teachers other than self-imposes, love for the children, and admin that fire them for not jumping when they take their salary, funding, necessary supplies and job on a whim anyway? It would take one case to set precedent and turn around a lot of abuses and scare shitty parents enough to handle their kid. One of the elementary school teachers at the district I went to got arrested for making his class worship him like he was a cult leader. He was totally bonkers. What the f? I don't know whether to laugh or be shocked. This is the weirdest one yet. Edit. Thanks for all the upvotes. Yeah, we all knew he was really odd, but I never expected him to start making the class call him master and making them say that he was a higher power. That is but weird at the same time. I had a football coach like that. He made us call him God. I signed out of the team pretty quickly. Oh, my football coach, that's insane. He didn't come to parent-teacher interview night. The next day, he was late for class and crashed his pickup into a brick sign outside the school. Cops showed up obviously, and allegedly he blew twice the legal limit. He called the principal a cunt as he was taken away. He called the principal a cunt as he was taken away. Just while he was at it, might as well vent some grudges. Our new band teacher was a young guy, fresh out of college. His first year teaching, and he embezzled about $1,000 from the band's funds. He got arrested and his possible future career ruined for $1,000. Edit. Probably my favorite part of the story was that he went by the name Mr. E, so once he was gone, the ruthless band kids referred to him as Mr. Embezzlement. I had a teacher with a gambling addiction claim thousands of dollars collected under his care was lost. School never reported it in and protected him because he was close to retirement. Our beloved teacher, Mr. Mound, had worked there for 29 years without incident and was one of the best teachers there. His classroom was always a laugh riot. He was the best roaster and encourages us to roast him properly. He never failed to get us motivated, and a lot of us owe our career inspiration from him. He was fired because he had jokingly smacked a student on the back of his head for making a stupid comment. It was like something out of a sitcom, and all of us expected it and loved it. Yet one student, who was new at the school, was culture shocked by this. He thought it was strange but hilarious. He told his mom offhandedly, and his mom became the Karen. Never mind that the student was the teacher's godson, no physical contact was allowed, says the Karen. He was suspended with pay for 3 months pending investigation, then was let go because the Karen twisted the story and it blew up around the school. A year later, teacher won both the lawsuit against the school and libel case against the Karen, with her son being one of the key witnesses. We still keep in contact and roast him for getting rich over smacking kids around.